Welcome, everyone. I'd like to invite Michelle to the show. I had Michelle as one of the group. I think it was like a year back. Was it?
Something
You
like
were in the
that.
groups. Yeah, about a
Something like
year.
that.
And she was. How long were you in it for? Like maybe a couple of months,
Couple months.
right? So then, she came in. She learned this stuff. From what I remember, she was very, very active in the learning of all the pillars. Because I remember she's like, okay, yep. And I was like, okay, good. This person's really into it. She's doing the work. And then she kind of left, and I didn't really hear much from her. And then she got back to me a couple weeks ago, and she said, I would like to give you an update. So I figured, why don't we do an update semi-success story? So you're like at 90% recovered-ish,
Something like
right?
that.
So I
Yeah.
figured, why don't we get you back in a year to give us more of an update? Um,
Yeah.
Also, because lots of things going to happen in a year, and I think you'll probably be at like 110% by then. So,
Probably. Yeah. Sounds
yeah.
good.
All right, give us the details. Tell us all about your symptoms, your perfect storm, the whole thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna make it quick as like starting at birth, really. I
Yep.
mean, our perfect storm, born into dysfunctional family, um, you know, very dysfunctional family, growing up thinking that I wasn't good enough, always aware of what I say to people and what I did and hoping it was the right thing to do.
Mm. So a people
Very
pleaser?
people pleaser, very self-conscious.
Yeah.
Always had to be perfect because I never wanted
Right.
to screw anything up.
Uh,
And I learned that I had OCD that came years later, but I realized that I probably had some OCD issues, which I didn't understand. I just had these horrible thoughts and thought, you're just crazy. Who thinks those things? But I learned later
yeah.
that I definitely had OCD. But my perfect storm really started 11 years ago. I had some OCD thoughts. Of course, I was really busy before then as well, just trying to people please, be perfect, always thinking that I was a piece of shit, not good enough, not pretty
Yeah.
enough, not thin enough, not all of
Right.
those things. And I went to my local GP and I was explaining to her that, I'm having some odd thoughts and they're really troublesome.
Yep.
And she prescribed me an antidepressant.
Mm.
And I went home and I was a little scared to take it. So I
Yep.
waited probably a week and a half to take it and I took it. 20 minutes later, I left for a doctor's appointment that I had had and I just started feeling extremely weird. Head started buzzing. I literally with 20 minutes to a half an hour.
Mm.
Got to that doctor's office and I had extremely high blood pressure. So they were thinking maybe serotonin syndrome or something from this antidepressant.
Mm.
Uh, go to the hospital, they get that done, they give me more meds. Of course, I
Mm.
didn't know any better. So I'm taking these other meds and I get severe akathisia from these
Oh,
meds.
tell us
And I
about
had
that.
akathisia is like it's a movement disorder. You literally can't stay still. You feel horror all the time, like you're jumping out of your skin. You can't stay in your body not 1 second. There is
Yeah.
nothing, and I have been through a lot. There is nothing more debilitating than akathisia. It
Right.
is
There's no
just,
off button, right?
there's no off button. It's 24/7 horror show.
Yeah.
It really is. Um, and I didn't know what I had at the time. I just thought, God, you're just going crazy. I knew the medication had something to do with it, but I didn't know what it was.
Mm.
And I lived like that for a couple months, trying different drugs and different things, and just continued to get worse. And finally, I just decided I'm not taking these drugs anymore. Paced and paced, like you pace 23 hours a day. You literally cannot sit still. The internal body stuff is so bad that you
Hmm.
can't sit in your seat.
Yeah.
So 8 or 9 months went by, and I just decided I have to go back to work. I need to start living. And I was able to go back to work. And I was always afraid of it, right? Like, oh my God, what happened to me? I know it was the drugs, but I can't be sure. They're just telling me it's anxiety. So a few years later, I came across this story of another gentleman that had akathisia because I always looked into it. Like, I'm
So
like,
you went
something
off
happened.
the drugs, right?
2 months. I was on 2 months, different things, and I completely
Right.
just stopped taking them.
So then you got more symptoms because you're activated. So before that, you're already, dealing with anxiety. You take the stuff, you get off of it, and then you have lingering symptoms because of it.
Yes.
So then
Well,
did you go down any rabbit holes? Did you go down Facebook
not
groups and
at
all that?
that time. Not
Okay.
at that time. It gets worse. It gets worse.
Right.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
I got better, went back to work, got a therapist. She says, you have OCD. I learned what that was. I was
Yeah.
thriving. I had a nice uppity up job. I was boss, living my life, the best shape that I have ever been in. But I
Yeah.
was also very stressed.
Mm.
So the akathisia was 11 years ago. Forward 9 years later, my mom was ill. I had children in college.
Yeah.
I was working 12 hours a day,
Mm.
taking care of my sick mother because she could not be by herself,
Right.
running my kids back and forth to college. It was just a mess. And I really stopped taking care of myself. I used to walk and things like that, but I stopped doing it. I didn't have time. I
Yeah.
ended up getting COVID in March of 22.
Right.
Right. So
So that
before that,
was
I had
the last drop that broke the camel's toe, so to speak.
yes, absolutely.
Right.
So I get COVID, normal sickness, little fever, nothing major, nothing major. 10
Yeah.
days later, I get a adrenaline dump that could have cracked me in half, literally. Like
Yeah.
it just came out of the blue. And
When did you get these adrenaline dumps? Were they throughout the day or at night?
at night, I was laying in bed talking to my husband. I'd felt like some anxiety and things like that
Yeah.
beforehand, but I just thought, oh, well, you were sick, whatever. I didn't think much about it. But I was
Yeah.
laying in bed with my husband and we were having a normal conversation. And all of a sudden, I just get hit with this adrenaline dump that lifted me off the bed, literally.
Yep. Had those. They're
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it freaked me out because it reminded me of 11 years earlier, like some of the same symptoms. It wasn't quite the same. I didn't have the pacing or anything like that. It wasn't quite the same, but it reminded me of it. And that had always scared me. I truly never got over that because that's how horrible that akathisia is.
Mm.
And I just continued to go downhill from there.
Yeah.
Um, hit the groups, the COVID groups.
Oh,
Um,
Facebook COVID groups.
oh yeah, horrible idea.
Yeah.
I'm convinced I have brain damage. I mean, the neurological symptoms that I was getting was horrible. I couldn't
Mm.
feel sides of my body.
Yeah.
I had severe tremors, muscle twitching, um, off balance. I couldn't remember my name. I couldn't write. I couldn't
Right.
write anything.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And I hit the groups, the COVID groups, and they were like, oh, it's neurological, you have brain damage.
Mm.
And then I also wondered, okay, I took these drugs 11 years ago. Do I have brain damage from them? So I kind of hit those groups like, yes, you have brain damage. And I was
You're
like, oh my
injured.
God,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm brain damaged. There's no out. These COVID groups are saying there's no out. I went to the doctor. They're like, we don't know. It could
Yeah.
get worse. It could get better. And I thought, I can't do this again. I cannot, because it took me a while to get over whatever happened to me the first time.
Right.
It took me a long time to feel normal and not be afraid of what happened to me. And I thought, I can't do this again. I can't. And this was 4 months after catching COVID, completely, completely not functional at all.
Yep.
Hadn't
Yep.
slept for weeks, couldn't walk, I would stand up and my heart rate would go to 200.
Yep.
My legs were purple, all the veins stuck out in my leg. It was odd things that happened to you.
Yep.
And then I decided that I was going to put myself and my family out of my misery and their
Mm.
misery because my family had no idea what to do to me. And I was
Right.
horrified to take drugs and I didn't want to take those.
Mm.
So I did attempt my life severely.
Yeah.
Um, and on that attempt, I was found just in time. I was flown to another state from where I am to a trauma center.
Hmm.
Ended up having cardiovascular surgery from that attempt because I wasn't messing around. I Googled it, I planned it. I was done. I was done.
Right.
Um, and woke up on life support 3 or 4 days. Those few weeks are a bit hazy, and my family doesn't like to talk about it, so I don't know the full details of those days, just bits and pieces that I remember. But I woke up on life support. I was told that I died 3 times. They had to bring me back. I was close as to death as anybody can get. I was that close.
Did you
They
have
didn't think I
do
was
you
going to
remember
make it.
anything from that? Did you remember going to the other side at all? Any near death experience type stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
Sure. When I
Okay, let's
woke
do
up
it.
from life support, like it's almost like I was in outer space.
Mm,
And I'm assuming that I was coming through from life support or mm, on death's door. I don't know. But it was like I was out in space. And I had these horrible internal vibrations when I got COVID, like horrible internal vibrations. I couldn't stand it. And I felt that in this space.
yeah.
And I saw stars. There were stars all around me, and the whole world is just kind of vibrating. And I see a light on
Mm,
the other side, and I'm like, I didn't know what was happening, but it
yeah.
was the strangest thing. I can see it so clearly now. This light and this vibration in this space, and the stars were vibrating, and it was just so bizarre. And then I woke up, and I was on life support in the hospital.
Did you have anything talk to you when you were out in the space? Any
No,
type of voice? No?
no, I didn't have any of that.
So do you
Didn't
think
have
that
any of
maybe
that.
you had a purpose and they didn't want you to go, but they wanted to have a bit of a uh interjection type of thing going, no, this isn't you're not supposed to take your life. We have purpose for you. So you're going to go back in and we're going to help guide you. Did you get any did you get more in tune with
Yes,
your higher self with your spirituality at all after
not
this?
at that time. Not at that
Right.
time.
Okay.
At that time, when I woke up, I was completely pissed that I was still alive because
Right.
what I did to myself definitely should have taken me out. I was really angry that I was still there.
Before we go
And
continue, who found you again?
my daughter found me in my barn. I
Right.
ended up having to have cardiovascular surgery because of the attempt that I made.
Right. So you planned this ahead and you wanted to, you were it was pretty much guaranteed that you were not going to make it, but somehow like
Somehow,
the
my
yeah.
daughter usually sleeps during the day, and her doctor's office had called 5 minutes before I should have died, and she needed insurance questions answered. I'd
Mm,
left my wedding ring on the kitchen sink for her because I
mm,
wanted her to have it. And she knew. I mean, I love my ring. I cherish it. My husband got it for me 4 or 5 years. I just love it. And she knew something was wrong because I was suicidal before. Like, I'm like, that whole
right.
4 months, it's like I can't
Did
handle
you ever think
this.
about this that it was lined up in a way so that you would be found on purpose? Like
Yes, because she would
yeah.
have never, she came out to find me, and my daughter works at night, so she sleeps all day long. It was a miracle
Right.
she even answered the phone. I was meant to be found. I
Right.
know that now, but
Hmm.
I didn't think so then.
Right.
But yeah, that's how I got found. It was literally 10 minutes after I attempted my life, which 5 more minutes I would have been gone, they're
Right.
telling me.
So then
So,
you got the surgery, you come out and what happened
well, of course,
after
they put
that?
me in the mental hospital because, I attempted my life. And
Ah, okay.
at that point, I didn't care what they did to me. I'm like, you can do anything you want to me. I don't care. I was really angry that I was alive. I knew what it was going to be like to go through this nervous dysregulation crap again. I knew it. It's horrible. There is no words to describe what people go through
At this
neurologically,
at this moment,
emotionally.
sorry, I'm interrupting you a lot, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's okay.
curious. At this moment, you're thinking, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna try again in another week." So
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna go through all this shit again. I'm gonna try
Oh
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I ended up going to the mental hospital for 3 weeks. They tell me that I have neuroinflammation to watch The Brain on Fire, the movie, because I had mostly all of her symptoms. They
Mm.
didn't want to do anything extravagant to me because my brain was damaged by COVID and they don't know how much brain damage
Right.
I had.
Oh, okay.
So they send me home a month later. I go home. I had a severe infection in my leg because they had to take a vein out of my leg to repair my body.
Right.
And they gave me all kinds of antibiotics to fix it. And I didn't take a one of them. I thought, okay, well, if that didn't kill me, maybe this infection will kill me.
Right.
And I knew that I couldn't attempt my life again. I knew I couldn't because it was so it was so hard to do the first time. Like, um, they say killing yourself is being a coward, but that's not true. It's really hard to do. And I couldn't do it to my family, my daughter, my little girl that she walked
Right.
upon a horror show. So I didn't
But
take the
yeah.
antibiotics and I lived through that. I shouldn't have lived. I was getting, I had to go to wound care therapy. I had nurses in my house coming in twice a day, changing the packing, and because I refused to take care of myself. And
Mhm.
by that time, I was literally bedbound. I couldn't get up.
Right.
And so I heal from that. And I say that I wanted to die, but there must have been something in me because I still like went to wound therapy. I still, you know what I mean?
Did you feel you're just
There,
kind of like just going through the motions? You're kind of a
yes,
zombie going, yeah, yeah, okay, I got
yes,
to do this now. Fuck, let's do this now.
right.
And
It was like I was completely disconnected from my body. I had over 45 symptoms, which
yeah.
I'll give you a list of, but I had dysautonomia, POTS, trembling, internal vibrations, insomnia, depression, anxiety, panic, blood pooling, low blood pressure, high blood pressure,
Mhm.
POTS, you name it. I had it.
Did you have any
And
let's go through it. Did you have any food sensitivities? Any
yes, yes,
right? Mast cell
yes.
activation, of course, that would be in there.
I don't know
Multiple
about
chemical.
that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And
Multiple
at first,
chemical
I
sensitivity.
lost a bunch of weight because I went on a strict diet when I found out, I hit the COVID groups. They're like, go on this strict diets.
Yeah.
And I was like a beanpole. I've gained it all back and a lot some. But
Me too. I know what
um,
that's like. I know. But you know
but
what? I'd
yeah,
rather be here a little chubby
right.
than
I'm
where I
alive, so
was.
I'm a little chunky.
I can work
Yeah,
on this part. That I don't
right.
mind.
Right. Um, but anyways, I forgot where I was.
So yeah, we're talking about the symptoms, the blood
Right,
pooling,
right.
POTS,
So
OCD,
I
food
come up,
sensitivities.
yep, I had those. And then I came across, I started doing like I went on YouTube and I Googled or whatever internal vibrations and a bunch of videos came up, some from like CFS recovery, and I found the healing dudes.
Oh,
And I went on the
nice. Okay.
healing dudes. Josh and Joe are the most beautiful human beings I've ever met in my life. And that was kind of like my first thing that I
Right.
noticed about this. I watched all the videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this, I have that. Because I didn't realize COVID people were getting neurological stuff. It didn't click with
Right.
me. I just thought I'm damaged. These drugs hurt me 11 years ago. COVID got me. I'm a goner. So
Right.
so I did the healing dues for probably a month and they got me onto it. I just didn't connect completely because a lot of the people in there had Lyme. And I didn't realize at the time that most of this stuff is
It's the
all the
same shit.
same. Right.
So
It's
you
all the same.
separated it and you thought, you know what?
I'm
This isn't for
different.
me. I got to go find this thing over here.
Yep. And then I found your video, You're Not Special. And
Right.
I thought, what the hell is this? What is this? I mean, you even had benzos in there and you had long COVID and mast cell, all this stuff. And I thought, wow, what is this? What is this? And I did get into DNRS then at the time, but I will tell you, I completely did not do it 100%. I couldn't remember the steps. My brain fog was so bad. I'm
Mm.
like, oh, what step am I supposed to take? Um,
Oh.
I'd
Oh
have
yeah,
to
because you
look
have to
it
do the
up.
Macarena. Got to do the
Right,
Macarena
right,
dance and do in
right,
a circle and then yeah.
right. I couldn't remember any of it. I'm like, I
Yeah, that's a
can't do
lot.
this, but I tried.
Yeah.
but I didn't do it completely. And then I found your stuff and started listening to your videos, and you used to have the videos on your thing, and I started doing that. I
Right.
started doing visuals. And I also have to give credit to an anxiety group,
Right.
because my anxiety was so bad. And I did follow her, and she did help me a
Right.
lot. Um, but I started doing the visuals. I started living life a little bit, started making myself get out of the house because all I was doing at that point was sitting on the couch looking for cures, not trying any of it.
Getting sucked into the rabbit holes, researching, right?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I stopped doing that because of your video. I stopped doing that. I
Amazing.
started doing the visuals. I was horrible at it at first. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't think clearly. Now I love them. I do them
Yeah.
every day and I love them. Started dancing.
Right.
I just felt awful. I'm like, this is fucking sorry. This is
Yeah.
stupid. Um, I can't dance. I'm not happy at all. I mean, I was crying daily, but this is not even the whole story. I was put on benzodiazepines in the hospital,
Right.
and I had to come off of those.
Hmm.
And I hit the groups on the benzodiazepines as well.
Right. So that would add gasoline to the fire for sure,
Hmm.
because they're telling you
Yes.
you're broken, you're never gonna get out of it, and
Brain
yada yada.
damage. I have brain damage. Yeah.
Mm,
I came off of those. I've been off 2 years. So
yeah.
I'm off of those, and it was horrible. I'm not going to say that withdrawal is not real. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It was a horrible experience, especially with already a dysregulated nervous system.
Hmm.
It's horrible. But I forgot to add that in. But I did come off benzodiazepines, and there is hope because I'm here. I came
Right.
off
Which is huge. We don't have enough.
benzodiazepines.
We don't have enough people success stories of talking about that. So this
Yeah,
is
I came off of them.
massive.
And
That's
I was
amazing.
heavily involved in the groups. I was even moderator on one.
Oh, wow. So you're definitely
Yeah.
influenced by this. See a lot of people, which is good because you get to see the patterns,
Oh,
all the people, right, that are in it,
every
what they're
time you read a
involved in.
horror story, a
Yeah.
shot of adrenaline, a shot of chemical, that second fear just makes you worse and worse and worse. You're getting off benzos. Okay, you're gonna have withdrawal, but that second fear, you're adding symptoms on top of it with that second fear, reading that crap and scaring the crap out of yourself. It's good to get in them, get the information, how to taper, whatever, and get out because they're not
Right.
healthy.
And in a way, you kind of dealt with the aftermath. You're like, yep, it's a shit show. Here's the aftermath wave, and let's hit the pillars. So did you hit the
I hit
pillars?
the
Were you doing
pillars.
the work every
I
day?
was doing the work faithfully. I still do
Yeah.
it every single day. Every day I did the work. I didn't do the hour of visuals at first. I couldn't do
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
I elevated my mood more. Um,
So
I
you took the
never could
time.
do
So you took the time from the visuals and you put it into the
elevating.
because so to bring that survival state down, and then
Hmm.
that allowed you to keep doing the work, and then eventually did you get back to doing more visuals?
Yes, I'm now doing visuals. I split it up though. I don't do it all
Yeah.
at once. I do it in the afternoon. Actually, I do it with a friend of mine. We like
Nice.
doing it together. And then I do it at night before I go to bed. Elevating my mood now is just a little different because I'm better.
Hmm.
Elevating my mood is doing things that I enjoy. Like, mowing the lawn or going to see a friend or living life, really.
Right. Yeah.
Living life, really. But as soon as I saw that, I got off all the groups. I got the hell out of the benzo groups. I got the hell out of the COVID, long COVID groups. And that was a big game changer. The second fear started slicing off,
Yeah.
I, and the anxiety group did help me do that with the anxiety, like the things that they had me do. But and it wasn't like visualization tapping. It was allow. It was allow that shit and live your life. Allow
I
it.
was just gonna get into that. Allow is like
Same thing.
the main superstar in the pillars, and what um the goal was to have all the pillars support
Hmm.
the allowing, which is a
Allowing.
challenge at first. It's a learning curve. I'm sure that
Hmm.
you can understand, but
Oh
that's
yeah.
the missing piece, right?
Yes, that is absolutely the missing piece. By allowing, you're not giving into that second fear. You're allowing. You're
Yeah.
allowing things to calm down. You're not adding those extra chemicals in your body that makes you feel 100 times worse from already the shit that you had before. So
Hmm.
you don't really know what's hyperarousal and you don't really know, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you are adding all of this extra chemical in your body by not allowing and Googling and talking to people about your symptoms and
Yeah. Trying to get rid of the
trying to
symptoms
fix.
instead. You just
Yep.
allow it, right? Did you also
Hmm.
have a bit of a learning curve learning the allowing? I know I did.
It
It was
did.
took me a
It
while
was hard.
to get it.
It was
Yeah.
hard. Oh, yeah. So I've been doing this, oh my gosh, almost a year.
Right.
Almost a year. And I just started feeling better. Probably, you don't really notice it. Like you
Yeah.
get better and better, but you don't notice it. And you're like, if something comes back, which I don't
Yeah.
care now because I know it's going to go.
Yeah.
Um, but you notice, you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't had that in a while. There you
Hmm.
are. There
Yeah.
you are, but you don't, by teaching myself to allow, I didn't have fear anymore. That fear kind of checked off. It kept checking off. Like,
Yeah.
this is my nervous system. I am fine. I'm going to do those dishes and I'm going to take that walk and
Right.
I'm going to, you know, talk to people.
Yeah.
It was all a buildup. It took over a year, actually.
Right. So did you start going out more, going to the grocery store, going to places,
Yes.
being with friends? Because I noticed that
Yes.
that's the we will be recovered, but then there's that next layer of getting in the swing of life, right? So then symptoms come back because you got to go maybe to a concert, to the movies, hang out with a friend, blah blah blah, and then symptoms come back a little bit. That's that next
Hmm.
level of recovery. Did you have that?
Yep. I did. Yes. I had to do it in spurts. I mean,
Hmm.
only the past 5 or 6 months I've been talking to friends, going to friends, because I cut everybody out of my life. Every single person that I knew. I deleted them, blocked them from Facebook. My whole life was Googling and on groups. That's what my life was
Right. So
at that time.
you created a bubble, which is one of the pillars. You had to create a little bit of a bubble in the beginning, cut some
Hmm.
people out, right?
Hmm.
Because they're feeding that survival state. What you're watching, politics, news,
Hmm.
talking to Sally about symptoms, even people that you're close with, like maybe a friend or your daughter, or them asking you, "How are you feeling today?" And you get into talking about symptoms. So all these things, you had to be aware of all behavior patterns, and they're all
Hmm.
important because it's preparation, being, watching your schedule, routine, right? How is your
Right.
what?
Scheduling was very important.
Right. I was going to ask you that.
That was the main ticket for me is I would get up in the morning and just not do anything. But I thought, no, I have to have a schedule. Helmut
Right.
says I have to get a schedule. So I had to make a schedule. And you do things whether you want to or not, even if you feel like crap on
Right.
that schedule. So I would get up and I would get on my treadmill for 15 minutes.
Hmm.
And then I would go downstairs and I'd let myself watch one podcast
Right.
and I would do my dishes. I didn't do anything extravagant at first, just kind of
Hmm.
house stuff that I hadn't been, very functional at. I
Right.
started doing that. And then I started going outside. So it kind of all built up, you
Right.
know?
That's the goal, right?
Yep.
You can't. I couldn't do most of the stuff in the beginning. Everything I was dealing with was a lot of resistance. I couldn't do visuals. I didn't like elevating. I felt like horrible. All my symptoms were screaming at me. I couldn't go for walks. Everything was, and when I did, it was like you're in a war zone. But the thing is, eventually, what you do is you take the pillars, you apply them to your situation, and you just start. And
Hmm.
you eventually will be walking 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, like I was eventually. You will be doing your elevating and dancing. You will eventually enjoy the visuals. Not at first, right? But eventually you
Oh, no.
will do these things, right?
No. I would close my eyes and put my headphones in and just sing and dance out loud, feeling like the worst crap,
Yeah.
because I was so weak. My body felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds.
Hmm.
And I also skipped another thing. I had to take a year of physical therapy after I attempted my life because
Right.
my walking and my balance and everything was all off. I had to learn to do all that stuff again. It was just horrible. So I also miss that. I'm sorry. I wanted to add it in because I wanted people to know how terrible it can get and you can get better. You
Right.
can
Well, no,
absolutely
it's
get
important to
better.
see how serious your situation was, how
It
severe
was
you
bad.
were on medication, right? And how far you've come. And you're saying you're at 85, 90, you're able to live life now. And it's just
Right.
a matter of time. You keep doing the pillars, keep doing the work. It's a matter of time where it's going to be 100, 110, right? You're going to be fully thriving, next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I never thought I'd get here. I never thought I'd get here. I was so hopeless, and going through this twice. I'm like, this is not just once. I have done this twice. I
Right.
don't know how I did it last time. I'm thinking because there was no internet, I didn't go on it. I didn't, I just thought, I just started living my life last time. And I didn't have all those second fears around me. I didn't know anything about it. You know what I mean? Where this time I do. I think the internet and Facebook and all that stuff can ruin a lot of people with that second fear.
Oh,
It's just
well, it creates a
awful.
reality. It creates your reality because of your beliefs, and that's
Hmm.
everything. And the nervous system just it does its job because of that. So getting
Yeah.
out of that and believing that, hey, listen, this is all nervous stuff. This isn't anything else but something that you can change. And that's also takes time to believe, right? At first I didn't believe that. But
Oh, me
eventually you
neither.
see the evidence. You see the evidence. The more you do the work, the more you said you also have some pictures that I will post in
Yeah.
this video, some of the things that you had, some of the symptoms, and you took pictures along the way so that
Hmm.
people can they need to see this. It
I
might be
took them for
triggering.
doctors.
Right. Exactly.
I'm like, here, this is what is happening. No, you have anxiety. Okay. Well, I mean, the last time I went to the neurologist, he still thinks, I might have POTS dysautonomia, small fiber neuropathy, and still wants to do testing because they really don't know. They just keep fishing to find something. As far as diagnosis is, I have a long COVID diagnosis. I
Hmm.
have an OCD diagnosis. You know,
Right.
um, as far as that, they just keep fishing to find something. Um,
It'll be
so
interesting to see in a year from now if you were to get retested, what they would say. They probably wouldn't say. They'd be like, "Cool, all right, see you later. I got to go to lunch."
mhm.
Right? They wouldn't
Yeah.
even.
Yeah, because my stuff was so neurological, especially in the beginning, having to do physical therapy and all that. It was awful, the neurological things that I had going on.
Yeah.
And, it makes you believe you have brain damage because how can your body do
Oh yeah.
something like that?
Totally.
I had ALS, I thought,
Yeah.
Parkinson's, MS, you name it, I
MS.
had it.
Yeah, I know. I thought
Yes,
I had that too.
I had it.
I
I
did all the
like,
tests. I went down all the forums. I thought I was getting prepared for I was getting ready to get my wheelchair and all that stuff.
yeah. Oh,
Ugh.
yeah. As my good friend would say, I Googled myself into hypochondria, and it's true. You
Yeah.
know, it's true. You do.
Like this is what I find, real life events brought us to where we were with our chronic illnesses, but then the symptoms freak us out so much that we put gasoline on them with these groups. So
Hmm.
then that's why people get stuck. And it's too bad because, there is a way out. You can get a hold of your life and get your life back totally. And
Yeah. Oh,
you're
yeah.
an amazing example of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I had it rough. I absolutely went through it. Absolutely went through it.
So what would you say going, you start doing the work, you have the pillars, you're finding the way, right?
Hmm.
You're in the groups, you're doing the work. Tell us, what was it like? Was it a challenge doing the work? Was it still a
Oh
shit
my
show?
God.
Right.
Oh God. Yes. You literally
Yeah.
have to make yourself do it.
Yeah.
You have to have that will to get up and say, because I thought I was completely broken. Like I can't do that. That's what I told myself. I
Yeah.
cannot do that. And and then I thought, what else do I have to lose? I don't have a life now.
Hmm.
I couldn't even, attempt myself right. I'm still here. What do I have left? What do I have left? I have nothing left. I'm not functioning. I had to give up my career, financially in the shithole. My
Yeah.
family is like, don't know what to do with me because all the
Yeah.
doctors are like, we can't find anything wrong, you know?
Right.
Um, and what do I have to lose? And then your videos, I just started watching them. And I think the first time I'd laughed was with your videos. The first time I'd laughed in years. I laughed and I that was pretty big. I'd laughed
Yeah.
and I hadn't laughed in a long time. And I said, what do I have to lose? And I just started making myself. It was almost, you have to make yourself. I
Yeah.
did,
This is where
pure
I
and
think it's
simple.
really important this is why I wanted to bring this up because I think it's important that people understand that, you can have the program, you can have the success stories, but this is self-directed. You have to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
one that makes that decision, go, okay, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to show up for myself every day. I'm not going to straddle the fence. I'm going to make that decision and do it. I'm going to apply the stuff that's in the pillars and make them work for my situation the best that I can and just
Hmm.
start and be
Hmm.
consistent every day, never miss a day. So you got to make
Yeah,
that choice, and you made that choice.
I made that choice, and I am a tough ass bitch. I made that choice and I got out of it again.
That's
And
amazing.
now I know what to do. I still have some issues, about confidence, and especially attempting my life. It's not easy to come on here and say that I did that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I feel like I still have some issues around that. Like I feel I shouldn't have an opinion because I was so low and attempted my life. They're all just things that I've always been my whole life, hard on myself.
Right. But
Um,
that's the thing is, this is where I think it's best. People should get to a place where the survival state's down, the symptoms, most of them are gone. You're able to live life, and now you can do the next level work. This is where Sam comes in. This is the shadow work.
mhm.
Some of the
And I'm
things that
doing it.
you're
Yep.
right. This is where you can get into
Somatics.
right. Some of the childhood things that want to come up, and then you allow them because you've had all the training with the allowing. Now you know how to allow,
Yes,
right?
and I believe that's a big piece. You have to learn to allow before that other stuff can help.
Right.
You
That
have
makes
to
sense.
learn that you're not going to die because if you're doing the somatics and you're meditating
Mm.
while you think you're dying and you're Googling in groups and stuff, it's not going to help you. You
Yeah,
have to,
exactly. There's like an
you,
order of things. Do this
yes,
first, regulate, and then let's hit that shadow, right? Let's slowly
yes.
hit that shadow even more. We're hitting the shadow while we're going to the first stage, but this time you're able to go to think about some of the stuff in the past. It's bringing it to you on a platter, and you're able to allow it and handle it a lot easier than when before it's like putting gasoline on the fire. That's why some
Mhm.
people, when they go to like a therapist, they go, well, let's talk about your trauma. Let's go dig for some trauma, and then they come out worse, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
it's doing everything backwards. But with
Mhm.
us, we just work with what the brain sends us, and that's it. We
Mhm.
don't go digging, right? We just allow whatever is on this plate, and it just does it itself. It sends it to us. Okay, here we go. I don't like it, but this is
Right.
what we're gonna work on.
And I tried EMDR too. Didn't work. I
Right.
couldn't do it. I was too afraid. I was so worried about my symptoms and that second fear
Yeah.
that I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function. I couldn't function because that's all I thought about, literally.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, you've been through it now. Now you know. Now you're going on the next phase of recovery, working on the shadow work. Even me, I'm still working on some of the stuff that I didn't know I needed to work on. And Sam was able to highlight some of that stuff. But I'm at a place where I can do it, right? It's not going to put gasoline on the fire. So this is going to be really interesting to see where you're at in a year. We're going to have you on
Can't wait.
again, sharing your experience, your success, doing all the
My
pillars.
success. Yeah,
So I really appreciate you being here. And thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
it too. Thanks for having me.